Welcome, we're at Disney Publishing, and I'm with Brent Ford, Director for the Art Department here, and I've been hearing all about Finding Dory, and how the books of Finding Dory are really an integral part of what you do here. So maybe could you illustrate how that comes to be?
Sure. Well, we can use the Classic Storybook Art Pool as an example. That's sort of the flagship project of our publishing program. It's a 96-page retelling of the entire film story, and it's provided to different areas of the company that might need it to tell the story in different ways. If you were to look at one of the illustrations that we create, you'll notice that it's created in a way that does not look like the film. It's a creative interpretation of the film. And we do that for very specific reasons, most of which are embedded in the history of Little Golden Books and Big Golden Books, which go all the way back to 1933.
Yeah, that's something I didn't realise. I thought sort of the books with the films was a more recent innovation, but you've been telling me how that goes right back.
That's right. There's a deep, rich history. Back in 1933, Whitman Publishing struck a deal with the studio, with Walt Disney, for a half-cent royalty on every book sold. And in much the same way, we're doing the same thing today. We're carrying on that tradition. And
in terms of the technology used to achieve that, I guess it's changed over the years. So it's not pen and paper, but it's similar techniques now, is it?
The technology has changed vastly. Obviously, there was no computer back then. 95% of everything we do is done on computer, but we always like to say it is still done by hand. There's no automated process here. The only difference is instead of pencil and paper or paintbrush and paint, we're using Photoshop to illustrate these books.
I think the thing I didn't realise, maybe as a parent, is that these books are created sort of alongside the film, very much as part of that creative process, rather than you have a film and then afterwards you get books and apps.
That's absolutely true.
And so it feels quite exciting. You get to be on set a bit, do you? And you get access to lots of assets.
Absolutely. It's very exciting. We get to see the film as it's being created, and we get to see the changes that happen during the course of the creation of the film, which is one of the key reasons that we meet with the filmmakers at least twice a week during the production of our storybook illustrations. We meet with them on a regular basis to not only keep up with story changes, but also to get their artistic input on how we're depicting scenes, how we're characterizing the characters and the environments. We want to make sure that all the DNA that is in that film is transferred into our book illustrations.
I guess one of those purposes for this artwork now is going to be on the screen. So for apps, so that you play a part in that as well, do you?
We do. We collaborate with our digital folks in the creation of the apps. In this case, on Dory, if you were to look at the app, you'll see that there's a game there where Dory goes around collecting bubbles.
What? Hey there. Oh.
Well, it uses one of our storybook illustration backgrounds. It also uses our character models that we have actually gone to the trouble of creating Maya builds, wireframe models of these characters.
It's sort of a 3D representation of your caricature. Absolutely. Rather than of the original.
It's a 3D representation of the storybook illustration, absolutely. That wireframe model is rigged and animated, and it results in what you see in the app now. We want a child to pick this up and love it. And they're not going to do that if we just sort of go halfway with this. If we're going to do it, anything worth doing is worth doing really well. So we want this to be the best it can be. We want to represent the film as best as we can do that through our product, books. And hopefully the end result will be a cherished keepsake for the child.
So in the Finding Dory work you've done, is there a particular piece of art or a particular page that was a lot of fun to do, or is maybe your favourite?
That's my favorite. I absolutely love this panorama that we're depicting. I mean, it is. We've not done this before, actually, and it's not only versatile in terms of its usage, but it's absolutely beautiful to look at.
And perhaps looking ahead, are books here to stay, do you think? Or I think some people might assume that with the rise of tablets and screens, they might fade out. As in Disney Publishing, how do you see it?
I think books are here to stay.
Good.
Absolutely. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think if they were going to go anywhere, we would have seen a decline, and we're not seeing a decline. We're seeing an increase.
Great. Well, it's been great to see how you work here at Disney Publishing. It's been fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing the finished product. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.